Okay, part two. The 40-day challenge, Dan John, Pavel Tsatsouline. The program's really simple. All you do is 10 repetitions on the three key movements. So we're talking military press, deadlift, and barbell curl for me. So you like push, hinge, and like a pull or a curl. And then kettlebell swings, 20 to 50 reps. You can do other power movements, but basically I think the idea with 20-50 reps is that it's a kettlebell movement, which was a good change of pace for me. And then 5 wheel rollouts. So you just do 5. And you think 5 wheel rollouts, like that's nothing. But because you're doing the workout 5 to 7 times a week, you find that it is fairly tough, and the wheel rollouts are intense. And as you get stronger at them, you feel, like I can go on my feet. Yeah, I can go on my feet. I can go most of the way out. I don't have to drop to my knees. And so you automatically increase the difficulty as you go. But then you have those days like I was talking about where you just punch your card, just go normal reps on your knees, get them easy, done. But you're still practicing that movement, and you're still getting better and still getting some adaptations to what you're doing. So the main idea of the program is not to go for structural adaptations. You're not looking to put on a lot of size. Well, I will say that my body weight was up probably 3 to 3.5 kilos at one stage during the program, and then by the time I finished, I was probably 2 kilos up on where I started. But I was in the range of where I normally sort of sit, and I had been really light before I started the program. So don't expect big mass gains with this kind of work. If you eat a lot, you might put on some weight, and if you're not very strong, then this is going to set you up for gains in the future. And that's the main idea, that you get a lot stronger, and then when you go back to a more volume-based program, that you will put on your weight more easily. But you can definitely get some structural gains. The main thing is that you get used to those movements, so you really become more efficient at those movements. So you get a lot better at whatever it is you choose to do. I'd recommend that you use, one of my recommendations here is that you use movements that you haven't done for a while. So if you've been maxing out your bench and your squat all the time over the last couple of months, better not to choose those movements and do an overhead dumbbell press, like one arm dumbbell press, and a deadlift or a snatch grip deadlift, or something like that, so that you've got more of a learning curve, and you'll be able to take yourself to a new level on that lift. If it's something that you've already sort of been banging your head against the wall with, then you find that it's a very long 40 days. That's pretty much what I did. I'd been pushing the deadlift pretty hard for the sort of month, 6 weeks before I did the program. I had a max lift at 200 kilos, which was really heavy for me. I maxed out on the trap bar deadlift as well, and I maxed out on the rack pull. I did like 280 on a rack pull. I did 225, I think, on the trap bar, and then 200 just on the flat bar, on just the conventional alternate grip deadlift, and 205 on a sumo, but that was a little while before. So for me, doing the deadlift, it wasn't really probably the smartest idea. And I found that volume of lifting, just 10 reps every day on the deadlift, was tough. Because I'm a pretty light guy, I'm usually walking around somewhere between 81, 83 kilos. And I'm sort of around that 2.5 times body weight deadlift. It's a reasonable lift. And it's not awesome, it's not world class, it's nothing great, but it's enough that my nervous system's working pretty hard to get near that weight. So day in, day out, I was using sort of 140s, 150s for sets of 5, and thinking I was going fairly easily and being fairly soft. But by the time I got to the end of the program, I was pretty tired, and I use a neural measure of how my nervous system's going when I'm lifting. Basically, it's a dynamometer grip test. It's recommended actually in the Easy Strength book that Pavel and Dan John have written. I've been using it for a couple of years. I think I heard about it first from Charles Poliquin. I've done my own research on it since then. I use it with the athletes that I work with, and it's awesome. It gives you a really good gauge on how you're going. So my grip strength, my average when I'm not training too hard, when I'm not overtrained, is somewhere around like 740 newtons, so like 74 kilos to sometimes 76. And I found that by near the end of the program, I was getting like 650s, so 65 kilos, or 67 kilos, 68 kilos. I wasn't really busting the 70 kilo barrier, and a 2 kilo drop is fairly significant. So that gives you an idea. I was sort of down a bit, but I wasn't dead. So I just, kept going with it, and I wanted to see how I would be at the end of it. Then I came up with my 205 pull on the second last day of the program, so day 39, and that was the idea. With that was to get to have a crack at it on the day when I was filming the video for my Strength Essentials seminar that I'm doing with Corey, that I spoke about in the first video. Still 6 spots available, so get on board if you're keen, or spread the word if you know someone in Sydney that might want to get along, or in New South Wales. I sort of battled through it, and I wanted to see if I could lift more than 200, because I knew the 200 that I lifted just before I started the program was a full-on max. It was tough, and I don't think I had any more weight in me. So I lifted 205, and it was a PB. It's more than I've sort of ever lifted on a conventional deadlift. So I guess I was happy, but I was smashed for the next week after that. I really didn't want to train, and it was probably the least motivation I've had to train for quite a while. And it's crazy the way a heavy deadlift affects me. Some guys talk about it. If you listen to old time powerlifters and that, they say never max out, never go to a true max. You don't need to. It just stores your gains. But I really wanted to see if I could beat my all-time best, and I did. So the program worked, and I got 70 for 5 reps on the military press. My max before I started was 80, and I pressed 80 during the program. I didn't get 82.5. I think I should have probably had a go at it around the 20-day mark, because I think I started to go downhill nearly, and I just didn't have it in me to beat that record towards the end. I started to pick up a bit of a niggle in my left shoulder as well. So the pressing every day, probably going a little bit heavier than I was meant to, caught up with me. The idea really is, the key to this program is be patient. 40 days, of the same session. It seems sort of obvious, but you do have to be patient with it. You should be, you need to have your easy days. The idea is that you don't get that tired. Now, a couple of my mates did the program at the same time, and they got great gains, and they didn't get that tired. They did lifts that they hadn't been sort of working on that hard recently, and they were guys of a similar body weight, or a bit lighter, sort of maxing out towards, or not maxing out, but lifting towards the end around that 150 mark on the deadlift, which for 2, I think, which was really good compared, what they'd been doing before that. They both sort of had time away, or never really done too much heavy deadlifting. So that was awesome for them to do that. But the load that they were under to get to that point, was significantly less on their nervous system. So if they're lifting, with 100 or 120 or 130, I think that's part of the reason why they were able to deal with it well. And things come up while you're doing the program. You go through lulls and peaks. There definitely were days where you feel like invincibly strong. You feel like, this is easy. I'm eating this. But towards the end, I was under fatigue, and I really needed to take a bit of a rest, or try and eat some more, or sleep some more, or something. But bottom line is, I got through the program. It was awesome. Had to be patient. You get stronger at the lifts you do. The curls were a load of shit. The kettlebell swings were good. The wheel got a lot better as I went along. Choose your exercises wisely. Maybe think about doing the other version that Dan John has now. I'll post the links to the different versions that are online. The other version is like a pull squat, so a hinge, squat, maybe swings or farmer's walks. There's a different version of it anyway. That could also be, another option anyway. It'd be good. It's probably a little bit more Dan John style training as opposed to Pavel Tsatsouline style training. But yeah, give it a go. Let me know what you think. I know a lot of guys had a crack at it. Follow my Twitter feed and all that. But yeah, if you do give it a go, make sure you let me know. And any feedback is appreciated. Stay in touch and get along to the seminar if you can.